Your questions and comments about body image is ready to go. Let's get it. A lot of you had questions about body image and how, and a lot of comments, and I wanted to make sure that I took them all down, and I'm going to answer them right now, right here in front of you right now. So first question comes in, and it is, how does body dysmorphia happen? Well, body dysmorphia is a case of where a person thinks they're either bigger or smaller than they actually are. And where that usually comes from is it comes from the being surrounded by people of a certain size or a certain shape or a certain height. That typically tends to make you have a body dysmorphic view of yourself. Now, sometimes that body dysmorphic view is not an unhealthy body dysmorphic view, and what I mean by that is, you're not doing anything irrational to harm yourself in order to achieve the visualization of what it is that you see yourself as and try to improve upon, right? So I'll give you an example what that means. We're talking about, let's use NBA players as an example, right? A lot of people, when you watch NBA games on television, we all have a sense of body dysmorphia when we watch NBA games. Why is that? Because we all look at players like Chris Paul, Steph Curry, Drew Holiday, and individuals like that, and think that they're actually short. Because on the court, they're probably the shortest person on the court, but the truth is, Steph Curry is actually 6 feet 3 inches tall. So because Steph Curry is 6 feet 3 inches tall, the fact is that that's tall. So when we see them on TV, they appear short to us because of the individuals that they're surrounded by. Another example would be to look at WWE wrestlers or to look at supermodels for that matter, right? Because of a slight change in body mass, whether it be let's even be simple here and say it's all muscle. That increase in muscle mass will make a dramatic difference in appearance to who they look like, as opposed to the other individuals around them. For instance, The Rock hanging around Edge looks skinny on TV compared to The Rock standing next to him. But if you met Adam Copeland in person, Adam Copeland is quite huge. He's a very large man. But when you stand him next to other individuals with a different body type than him, he might appear skinny. Randy Orton sometimes appears skinny on TV compared to the other professional wrestlers he's surrounded by. Why is that? Again, if you're gonna put him next to Triple H, when you put him next to Dave Bautista, when you put him next to The Rock, when you put him next to Brock Lesnar, those individuals are much larger than Randy Orton, despite the fact that Randy Orton walks around at 240, 250 pounds. All right? So that's how body dysmorphia happens. When you are, usually it's because you're surrounded and immersed around people who have a particular size or shape, and you then start comparing yourself because that is all you have to compare yourself to. All right? Now, the next question is where does your body image come from? Well, that is a question that I honestly have for you guys, and the reason why I asked that question is where do you get your body image from? Is it from your friends? Is it from your family? Is it through the media? Is it through your local gym? Is it through, your job? Where does it come from? For example, again, like I said earlier, some people in the NBA, some people in the WWE, some people in the military, some people in the fashion industry all have different takes on body dysmorphia. Now, whether it's healthy or unhealthy, that's not for me to determine, but there are there are ways that your body dysmorphia does not negatively affect your life. So with that in term, you can definitely say that, you know, your body image has to come from somewhere, but some of us are taking those images to heart too much. For instance, we all know Barbie for years upon years was the quote unquote ideal woman, and her body dimensions were supposedly ideal at that time. And in all honesty, that her body type was not attainable for all women, you know, and as a result of that, a lot of women started struggling with their weight, possibly having bulimia and anorexia as a result of that, trying to achieve this quote unquote perfect body. And I'm gonna tell you here and now, the perfect body doesn't exist. There is no perfect body. There are body types that people are attracted to more than not, but there is no perfect body type, because I guarantee you somebody might find a different body type more attractive than others. So therefore, don't compare yourself to others. Do what's best for you. As long as you're training, as long as you're eating healthily, and as long as you are in a relatively decent body fat percentage, male or female, both have different standards, then leave it where it is. Don't be so down on yourself when it comes to that, because it is not as important to have the figure of woman A or woman B. It is more important for you to have your body fat percentage in check and to be active and healthy in that standpoint, all right? So I just want to make sure you guys understand it. Next question is when it comes to my body image, I have anxiety and I become depressed. The reason why it goes back into, where does your body image come from? Who are you looking at to compare yourself as to creating that anxiety? It might even be a former version of yourself. Now, as I'm sure you've heard in other videos, I have talked about how women especially cannot compare themselves to older versions or younger versions of themselves, especially if you were not pregnant in those times, because that flood of hormones while having a child changes your body composition. You're not going to be the same, maybe. I'm not going to say definitely, because some women are different, but your hormonal responses might cause you to become larger. And as a result of you becoming larger, not fatter, but larger. And because you become larger, you will never attain that physical shape that you were in when you were 15, 16 years old. It's just not possible. So it is not fair to you to turn around and judge yourself on something simply because you have not achieved a body that you had when you were a kid. All right. Next one is, the next comment I got was, the scale does not tell the truth. And you know what? They are right. It does not tell the entire truth, because the simple fact is that you get on the scale and it says you weigh 190 pounds. Especially as a female. If you weigh 190 pounds, does not necessarily mean you're fat, all right? Because if your body fat percentage is in between 17 to 26%, you're not going to be able to turn around and nobody can turn around and look you in the face and say that you're fat. If they do, come talk to me and I'll set them straight, all right? Is there a way to do exercises without looking like skin and bones? Yes, the answer is weight training. You have to lift weights. There's no getting around it. The biggest myth of all is that, quote unquote, you'll look like a dude if you lift weights. You won't. That's not possible as a female, all right? You'll be muscular, but you will still look feminine in your muscularity. It's all good. And even then, when you're that muscular, you have to turn around and lose a ridiculous amount of body fat to attain that physique, all right? Is there such a thing as body decomposition exercises? Well, unfortunately, that's not exactly how what we would call them. Any exercises that break down body fat is a body decomposition exercise. I guess we could say that. But truthfully, it's all simply about building muscle, burning fat through multiple ways. That's through your diet and through cardio, because you lose body fat through cardio primarily. Your diet will also help with that a lot, but there's no real body decomposition exercises. It's either you're building muscle or you're burning fat. If you need to, put yourself out there and just lift weights, and once you're feeling like you're getting stronger, then I would in between there challenge your cardio and just keep working. Don't work too hard on your cardio, because then you start to lose important muscle mass. Especially as you get older, you will lose important muscle mass, and if you're over the age of 35, you do not want to lose muscle mass. It is your life. Your life depends on muscle, all right? The older you get, the more you should be focusing on muscular endurance, muscular strength, and hypertrophy. Those are the three things you really need to focus on as you get older, because as you get older, you lose 10% of your muscle mass every decade after the age of 30, all right? So, guys, that's all I have for today. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and on YouTube. Have a nice day. Be the best you.